There's a version of you they hope you never remember, unstoppable, untouchable, radiating with a kind of power that bends reality just by being. Because the moment you wake up, the system begins to shake. The roles, the rules, the masks, they crack. That's why they buried this truth, layered it under fear, disguised it as humility, labeled it as arrogance, called it dangerous. But now you've found it. And once seen, it can't be unseen. You feel it, don't you? That quiet rebellion rising inside your chest. The sense that this isn't the life you were meant to live. You play the role, you follow the script, but somewhere deep inside, your soul is screaming. Wake up, this isn't who you are. They told you to settle, to stay safe, to be realistic, to be grateful for scraps, while your spirit was built for the sky. They fed you limits and called it love. They taught you fear and called it wisdom. They offered you a cage and called it success. And you almost believed it. Almost, but something inside you wouldn't die. Something ancient. Something infinite. That part of you that knows you were never meant to survive. You were built to create. This is the beginning of remembering, not learning, not becoming. Remembering because it's something old, buried, forgotten. But most people will die in a prison they never saw. Not because they were weak, not because they failed, but because they were taught to love the walls, taught to worship struggle, to fear change, to doubt their own knowing. They run on treadmills made of fear, chasing dreams they don't believe in, exhausted, numb, programmed, and they call it life. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange ache when everything looks fine, but feels completely wrong. Like you're starring in a movie you didn't audition for, reciting lines that were never yours to speak. But here's the truth. That ache isn't dysfunction. It's divine rebellion. It's the part of you that remembers who you were before the world told you who to be. It's the whisper beneath the noise, the heartbeat beneath the habits, saying, "You're more than this." Because the rules you were given weren't designed for your freedom. They were built for your obedience. They taught you to chase safety while calling it success, to avoid risk while calling it logic, to stay silent while calling it maturity. But now you see the cracks. And they told you reality is fixed, solid, unchangeable. But that's the greatest lie of all. Reality isn't a wall, it's a canvas. And you're the one holding the brush. Every thought you think, every emotion you allow, every choice you make is a stroke on the painting of your life. But most people, they don't even realize they're painting. They hand the brush to their past, to their boss, to their fears, to society. And they wonder why their life looks nothing like their soul. But not you, not anymore. Because you're starting to see. You were never just a character in the story. You're the author. And that canvas in front of you, it's still wet, the colors you've used before, fear, doubt, shame, they're not permanent. They never were. You can pick up new colors, new choices, new patterns, anytime you decide. There's a voice inside you that says you're not enough, that you need to be more, do more, prove more. That voice. It's not your truth. It's your ego. The ego doesn't care about freedom. It cares about control. It wants safety at the cost of your soul. It feeds on fear. Comparison, validation. You are your image. You are what they think of you. But you are none of that. You never were. You are not your past, not your pain, not your performance. You are something far greater. You are the awareness beneath it all, the space where thought arises, the presence watching the story unfold, infinite, unbreakable. But the ego doesn't want you to know that. Everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, your body. You are not just a person. You are a frequency. And the universe, it doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you broadcast. You've felt it before. Those days when life feels effortless, when the right people show up at the right time. That's not luck. That's alignment. Your energy was clear, coherent, magnetic. Other days, it's the opposite. Stress resistance. Everything feels heavy. It's not punishment. It's a signal. Your energy is out of sync. But here's the power most people never realize. You can shift it. You can tune your frequency. Like adjusting a radio station to hear the music of your higher self. It starts with awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, your surroundings. Your energy is being shaped constantly by the people you talk to, the spaces you live in, the stories you repeat in your mind. This is in a world that never stops shouting, stillness is rebellion. Every second, something is fighting for your attention. Notifications, news, noise, and in all that chaos, the most powerful part of you gets drowned out. Your inner voice. Stillness is where you meet yourself, not the version you show the world, the one beneath it all. It's in the stillness that the truth begins to rise. When the mind gets quiet, the soul speaks. When the ego softens, the real you emerges. When the story stops, the frequency begins. Stillness isn't just meditation. It's presence, it's breathing and actually feeling it. It's sitting without needing to fix. It's walking without escaping into thought. Stillness is the state where your energy becomes laser-focused. It's not passive. It's powerful. That's why the most magnetic people aren't always loud. They're grounded, rooted. They've met themselves in the quiet and returned with clarity. You want to shift your life? Start here, not by doing more, but by being more aware. Start with, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. This is the secret they never taught you. Because if you knew this, you'd stop begging the universe and start becoming the frequency your desires respond to. Every thought you think has a vibration. Every emotion you feel sends a signal. And that signal is constantly communicating with the field around you. It's not what you say. It's not what you post. It's not what you hope. It's what you broadcast. You say you want freedom. But does your body feel trapped? You say you want love, but do your thoughts vibrate with fear? You say you are abundant, but do your actions scream scarcity? The field listens closely, and it's brutally honest to manifest differently. You don't need to try harder. You need to. You're doing the work. You're visualizing. You're aligning. And then the breakdown hits. Doubt. Fear, old patterns clawing their way back in. And you wonder, am I doing something wrong? But what if resistance isn't the enemy? What if it's the sign that you are getting close? Transformation isn't clean. It's chaotic, uncomfortable, violent, to the version of you that's being left behind. Butterflies don't glide out of cocoons. They fight, they tremble, they break free, and it's that very struggle that strengthens their wings. You're no different. Your pain has purpose. Your resistance is refinement. It's the echo of an old identity that knows it's dying. So, instead of resisting the resistance, meet it, hold it, ask it what it's trying to teach you. Because every breakdown is coded with the frequency of you've been taught to grip, to grind, to hustle your way to peace. But here's the truth. The tighter you hold on, the more you push it away, because control is fear in disguise, and fear is resistance, and resistance blocks flow. But surrender is strength. It's not giving up, it's giving over to a deeper intelligence, to the current beneath the surface. Think of a river. It doesn't force. It doesn't ask permission. It flows, it adapts, it carves mountains, not by fighting, but by surrendering with direction. You are the river, and you are the one who resists. So, what if today you stopped trying to control every outcome? What if you released the timelines, the shoulds, the how and the when, and simply trusted that if your frequency is aligned, reality has no choice but to reflect you? Let go of the grip, loosen the mind, relax the body, and drop into the field that has always known the way. When you surrender, there's a voice within you that doesn't shout, it whispers, soft, steady, unshakable. It's not the voice that panics or doubts or rushes. It's the voice that watches, waits, and always knows. That voice is your higher self. It's the version of you that sees beyond the moment, beyond fear, beyond circumstance. It's the one that doesn't beg for clarity, because it already is clarity. You've felt it before, in the stillness, in the synchronicities, in the quiet knowing that says, go left, not right, speak up now, walk away, and you've ignored it. We all have, because the lower self is louder. It wants safety. Now, it wants comfort. Now, but the higher self wants truth. It's not concerned with immediate pleasure. It's concerned with who you're becoming, with the life you're building, with the path your soul signed up for, and it will wait patiently until you're quiet enough to hear it again. So how do you connect? You pause. Reality isn't rigid. It's responsive. It's listening, not to your words, but to your state. And the state you live in is shaped by the patterns you repeat. Thoughts, emotions, habits, stories. That's your program. And it's running even when you're not aware of it. Most people are stuck in loops, not because they're broken, but because their subconscious has never been updated. The code is old, written in childhood, installed by fear, activated by trauma. And they live the same day, over and over, calling it a life. But you're not most people, because now you know. The program isn't permanent. It can be rewritten, not through force, but through ritual. You want to rewire your reality? You don't need motivation. You need repetition. You don't need perfection. You need perfection. You need presence. Your subconscious doesn't just live in your head. It lives in your environment, in the way your room is arranged, in the voices you allow, in the music you play, in the clothes you wear. Every object around you is a signal, a memory, a vibration, a mirror of your identity. You can't become the new you. The clutter whispers. The energy lingers. Every item that reminds you of who you used to be quietly reinforces who you still believe you are. So if you want to shift your frequency, start with the physical. Not because aesthetics matter, but because energy imprints. Clean the space, burn the old journals, move the furniture, delete the saved messages. Create an environment that doesn't contradict the signal. Make it sacred. Make it intentional. Make it aligned with where you are going, not where you've been. Because your environment is either a sanctuary or a subconscious sabotage. It will either amplify the signal or distort it. So design it like a temple. Not for where thoughts are powerful, but emotions. They're the signal. Your emotion is the language of the field. It's how your frequency is felt, measured, matched. You can say, "I am wealthy 1,000 times." But if your body tenses with fear when you pay a bill, the field doesn't hear the words, it hears the contraction. You can visualize success every morning, but if you walk through your day in shame, guilt, or anxiety, you're out of tune. Your emotional state is the blueprint. Your energy is the architect. And your reality, it's the structure being built, moment by moment, in your exact vibrational image. So stop chasing results. Start mastering resonance. You don't need to control the outcome. You need to align your signal, feel before it arrives, live as if it's already here, not pretending, becoming. Train your body to be safe in joy, to expand in love, to stabilize in peace. Because if you can't hold the emotion now, look closely enough at reality, and it starts to look back. Quantum physics calls it the observer effect. Spirituality calls it consciousness. But you already know it by feeling. What you focus on expands. What you expect appears. What you believe becomes. You're not just watching reality unfold, you're collapsing it into form. Every time you observe something with emotion and meaning, you pull it out of infinite possibility and into material existence. That's not philosophy. That's physics. But here's the part no one tells you. Your state of being is the observer. If you observe life through the lens of lack, you collapse experiences of scarcity. If you observe through fear, you reinforce danger. If you observe through trust, love, peace, you collapse timelines that manifestation is not about becoming someone else. It's about removing everything that isn't you. All the masks, all the noise, all the pretending. Because when you live in alignment with your truth, reality bends to match. Your truth isn't loud. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't beg for permission. It's quiet, anchored, undeniable. You feel it when you say no to something everyone else says yes to. You feel it when you walk away, not because you are scared, but because you are clear. Alignment isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it means losing people, letting go of things, outgrowing environments that once felt like home. But the cost of betraying your truth, your energy knows. Your nervous system knows when something feels like a lie. So stop calling it overthinking and start calling it misalignment. When you speak truthfully, act authentic, you keep waiting for a breakthrough, for the sign, for the shift. But the future you're dreaming of isn't in front of you. It's already inside of you. And manifestation isn't about reaching for it. It's about remembering that it's already yours. and then embodying it. Now you don't manifest by hoping. You don't manifest by wishing harder. You manifest by walking as if it's already done. So ask yourself, how does that version of you move, breathe, speak, choose? What do they tolerate? What do they let go of? What do they say yes to without hesitation? Now bring that into today. Not in your imagination, but in your behavior. Because when your identity shifts, your reality has no choice but to keep up. This is the law. This is the frequency. This is the collapse of timelines. You collapse the version of you used to be every time. Everything you desire exists right now. Not in the future. Not someday. Now, but why can't you touch it? Why does it feel out of reach? Because you're not missing the manifestation. You're missing the frequency. Your frequency is the access point. It's the energetic password to the reality you're asking for. If you're vibrating in doubt, you can't enter the timeline of trust. If you're vibrating in lack, you're locked out of abundance. If you're vibrating in fear, love cannot land. This isn't punishment. It's precision. The field doesn't give you what you beg for. It mirrors what you broadcast. So, here's the truth. Most won't tell you. If you want to change your life, you don't need more strategy. You need more stability. Emotional, energetic, embodied stability. Because chaos in your field scrambles the signal, and change doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in a rhythm, not in a breakthrough, but in a ritual. Because repetition is what the subconscious understands, and the subconscious is what controls your reality. You don't become aligned by accident. You become aligned by design, and that design is built one morning at a time, one breath at a time, one choice at a time. So, here's the truth. Your future isn't shaped by what you do once. It's shaped by what you do consistently in the dark. When no one's watching, your ritual is your frequency rehearsal. It's where you remember. I'm not waiting for the life I want. I'm becoming it now. So, start simple. Start sacred. Start with presence. Wake up and breathe. Feel you cannot bring the future while clinging to the past. And you cannot manifest a new reality from the identity that built the old one. Your old self, the one built on fear, people, pleasing, overthinking, survival, can't walk through the door of alignment. It wasn't designed for that frequency, so as you rise, it will resist, it will beg for comfort, it will panic at your growth. That's not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're on the edge of something real, because transformation always feels like death to the parts of you that weren't real in the first place. You're not just shedding habits, you're shedding layers of false identity, the masks, the roles, the beliefs you inherited but never chose. You're stepping into truth, and truth demands a clearing. So let it fall. Let you felt the change, the shift, the pull towards something deeper, truer, more aligned. But feeling it once isn't enough, because energy is momentum, and momentum must be anchored. This new frequency you're stepping into, it's not a peak moment, it's a timeline. And timelines don't stay open forever. They require commitment, embodiment, consistency. You anchor the timeline by stabilizing the signal. Not just when you're inspired, but when you're tired, triggered, tested. Especially then, because tests aren't punishments. They're portals. They ask, will you respond from the old self or the new one you claim to be? You can't fake alignment under pressure, but you can practice it. You can catch yourself, pause, breathe, choose again. And each time you do, you anchor the new timeline deeper into your nervous system, your field, You've been taught to work harder, visualize more, say the affirmations, take massive action. But none of it works if the version of you doing it is still tied to the old identity. Manifestation isn't about effort. It's about identity alignment, because the universe doesn't respond, it responds to your being. Think about it. The person who already has what you want, how do they feel? How do they move? How do they decide? They're not chasing. They're not doubting. They're not trying to convince the universe to deliver. They're walking it out, breathing in certainty, speaking in alignment, choosing from truth, not trauma. That's the real secret. Manifestation isn't something you do. It's something you stabilize. It's not the vision board. It's who you are. Your emotions aren't just reactions. They're frequencies. And every frequency creates feedback in your field. This means emotional mastery isn't about suppressing how you feel. It's about becoming sovereign over what you emit. When you let emotions run unchecked, you become a signal of chaos, reactive, unclear, misaligned. But when you observe with presence, feel without drowning, choose your response with intention, you become the calm in the storm. The steady signal the universe can trust. Your power doesn't come from never feeling low. It comes from not getting stuck there, from returning to alignment quicker, cleaner, with more grace. Emotional sovereignty says, I may feel fear, but I don't vibrate from it. I may experience doubt, but I don't act from it. This is energetic maturity. And with it, you stop being you think this journey is just about you? It's not. Every time you align with your truth, you send out a signal, and that signal touches everything. Energy is contagious. Frequency is generational. When you choose healing over habit, you break chains your ancestors couldn't. When you shift from survival to creation, everyone you love feels it. Your children feel it. Your partner feels it. Your friends feel it. Not because you told them, but because your energy no longer matches their fear. Alignment is a silent revolution. You don't have to preach, you just have to embody. People will sense it, and some will resist, but others, they'll rise because of you. You're not here to fix the world. You've done the work. You've shifted your state. You've held the frequency. But still, no signs, no proof, no confirmation. And this is where most people collapse, because the human mind craves evidence, wants feedback, demands certainty. But the quantum field, it doesn't operate on your deadlines. It moves with precision, not pressure. So what happens in the silence? What happens in the delay? Most shrink doubt, self-sabotage, but not you. Not anymore, because now you know. The delay is not denial. It's refinement. It's calibration. It's the field arranging a reality that actually fits the version of you you've become. This is the part where trust becomes a portal. Not blind. You've remembered who you are. You've dropped the lies. You've aligned the signal. And now, You stand at the edge of a new world. But this isn't the end of the journey. It's the activation. Because embodiment doesn't happen in a single breakthrough. It happens every time you choose presence over performance, truth, alignment over control. You'll still face resistance, but now you'll recognize it. You'll still feel doubt, but now you'll respond from power. You'll still be tested, but now you know the test is never about the world. It's about who you choose to be when the world shakes. So keep becoming. Keep aligning. Keep tuning your life to the signal of your future self. Because that self, that frequency, that reality, it's not far away. It's already vibrating beneath your skin, waiting for your full permission to emerge. Take a breath. Right here, right now. Feel it, not just the words, the energy you're sitting in. This is what alignment feels like. This is what coherence sounds like. This is what truth does when it lands in your body. You're not the same person who pressed play because something shifted, not out there. In here you remembered that you're the creator, that your frequency writes the code, that your identity shapes the field, that everything you've been chasing has been quietly waiting for you to finally become it. So here's your choice. Right now, will this be just another video you watched? Or the moment your reality changed forever? Because the timeline is open, the signal is, and your future self is already waiting. But this isn't a journey you take alone. There's a whole field of aligned creators tuning into the same frequency. People reclaiming their power. People rewriting their code. People just like you,